Live at 4, this is 13 News Now.
November is coming in hot. Right now we are feeling some unseasonably warm temperatures. Pretty good for people who like the heat.
Yeah. But take a look at this. Almost 80 degrees out there. We have been shortchanged on fall 2007, Jeff. We are demanding a full refund.
Well, you're going to get it coming up very soon, because you and I, Regina, like to talk all the time about that balancing act. And, you know, if it's this warm now, we're going to pay the price, and it's coming fairly soon. I'll talk to you about that in a minute. Nothing at all on radar. Not a whole lot of cloudiness out there. We had a few clouds around at times today. Temperatures right now, and this is one of the cool spots. We actually got up to 77 if you're watching Tim during the lunch hour. He was talking about that. And the wind out of the southwest, all of a sudden we got a sea breeze kicking in. You don't often see a sea breeze setting up in November. You have to have really abnormal heat, and that's what we had. And that's knocked it back down, all the way down to 73 right now, officially here on the south side anyway. As we take a look going forward, the next 12 hours, you're going to see those temperatures sliding back into the 60s, and that's a cool down, but it is not a considerable cool down for this time of year. We have much chillier air in the forecast, so let's talk a little bit about that. Highs today so far, you can see way up, around 75, and now we're going to dip down over the weekend to 63. Then we're going to go back up to 79. The record, by the way, for Monday is 82, so we're going to be close to that. No, I'm sorry, 82 on Friday. We're going to be close to that tomorrow. So same thing on Monday, making a run at the record. And then we really drop Tuesday, Wednesday, and into Thursday. And that's the first real significant cold front of the year, which I will discuss coming up.
All right, thanks, Jeff. A troubling story out of Newport News. Police say a woman was attacked in the middle of the night by this man, Christopher James Stewart.
Happened on the southeast side of the city, and our Jimmy Lee joins us live from police headquarters with the details.
Yeah, Janet and Regina, police say the attack happened around 1:15 in the morning on November 1st. They say Christopher Stewart, who was 19 years old, broke into a house and tried to sexually assault a woman. Thankfully, that woman wasn't home alone. Her two younger siblings were there with her. Police say one of the younger siblings was brave enough to step in and confront Stewart and stop him, and then he ran. The forensics team and the Special Victims Unit got to the scene and began patrolling the area and investigating. Then later that evening, just before 7 p.m., they found Christopher Stewart and arrested him in the area of 29th Street. At this point in the investigation, police say it doesn't appear that the victim and Stewart knew each other. They believe that this might have been a random attack.
Maybe he had seen her in the past and found out where she lived and then approached the house, or whether this was just a random, let me go in this house and see what I can find.
Now, Stewart is facing some serious charges tonight, including 3 counts of abduction, 1 count of forcible sodomy, and entering a dwelling with the intent to commit rape and malicious wounding. Police say that the woman did sustain some injuries to her face, but it was nothing that was life-threatening. Live in Newport News, Jamie Lee, 13 News Now.
Right now, a Portsmouth man is in police custody after a man barricaded himself inside a building. It happened this morning on North Street near Middle Street in Old Town.
SWAT, along with several officers, blocked off the usually quiet area, putting nearby schools on lockdown. And our Jacqueline Lee has been there all day. And Jacqueline, how did this all start?
Well, Gina, it started with a fire call. The fire department tells me they got a report that smoke was coming out of that white apartment building. When they got here, they said it quickly escalated into a barricade situation, and that lasted for hours. You had the fire department, the police department, the SWAT team all out here trying to get a man out of that apartment building. They were successful around noon earlier today, and they were able to do so without any injuries. Now, I spoke with the manager of that apartment building. She said that man had been living there for about 3 months. She said she saw this coming because about a month ago, he set his stove on fire.
I'm feeling crappy that he's trying to do that to my aunt, and she's trying to be nice to him. She doesn't even want him to pay now. He just wants him to get out.
And she told me that she was actually trying to evict him for failing to pay rent. Police tell me they've arrested him for failing to appear in court for a previous trespassing charge. Stay with us at 5, and I will tell you more about the man and his criminal history. Live in Portsmouth, Jacqueline Lee, 13 News Now.
150 new jobs are coming to Chesapeake, and today we learned Standard Calibrations, also known as SCI, will invest more than $508,000 to expand its engineering operation. According to Governor Terry McAuliffe's office, the company is experiencing rapid business growth with high-profile data centers such as those found in the social media and software industries. All right, now to a live look over downtown Norfolk. In an hour and a half, you'll have the chance to say how you think the city should spend your tax dollars. At 5:30, the city is holding a public input meeting as officials start working on next year's budget. The meeting goes on until 8 o'clock tonight at the Huntersville Community Center. There will be another public input meeting November 15th.
Students at the College of William & Mary's Law School will run a nonpartisan hotline for voters on Election Day. The university says it will specifically provide information on individuals' voting rights. You can speak to someone starting at 8 o'clock next Tuesday morning. The number is 742-3095. They will be available until 7 p.m. that night. The school said its goal is to prevent any confusion at the polls. Camp Pendleton in Virginia Beach cut the ribbon on a new building today. The arched steel structure is known as the Base as K-Span. The new facility provides a home for teams to simulate and stage domestic operations. It replaces two older buildings that served the same purpose. An engineering team worked for 12 weeks on 2-week shifts to complete this project. The Air National Guard says the project will prepare engineers for similar jobs overseas on active duty. And the U.S. is on high alert after the deadly terror attack in New York this week. The suspect confessed to being influenced by ISIS and driving a truck down a bike path.
Nearly a dozen people were injured and several were killed. ABC's Maggie Rulli has the latest on the people who lost their lives in the deadliest attack in New York since 9/11.
In the aftermath of Tuesday's terror attack, the city is still shaken.
It's pretty scary to think something like that happened near our school.
The suspect barreling down a well-used bike path in Lower Manhattan, a neighborhood filled with families and schools. But the community here is determined to be resilient.
We all decided to wear black to show our support and unity, but we'll get through it.
The streets are back open, and schools, many right next to the terrorist path, are back in session. This is Stuyvesant High School, and right here, less than 50 yards away, is that bike path where many students say they saw the terror unfolding firsthand. The city's mayor stopped by the school today to offer his support for the students.
What is exceptional here is the fact that New Yorkers were undeterred. The message that came through loud and clear here is that everyone had each other's backs.
And the city got a visit from Attorney General Jeff Sessions, making sure New York knows they are not alone.
We're all in it together.
Now, for the first time, we're getting a look at the former life of 29-year-old Saifullah Saipov in Uzbekistan, where he lived before moving to the U.S. in 2010. Most recently, Saipov was living in New Jersey with his wife and 3 children. Saipov is charged with terrorism, and authorities say he has given a full confession. The city seems determined to show its resilience. The memorial here continues to grow, and we've even learned that one of the students who was injured in the attack made it a point to be back at school the very next day. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.